Hi friends, happy almost 2019. I'm doing a video on a word for the year, and I am blogging you a whole bunch of information about letting go and preparing as we step into this new year. And I had a client recently who asked me how I close out a year. And I actually start closing out a year in the fourth quarter. So I spend about 3 months closing out the year. But I thought, you know what? There is no time and space in God. So I am going to come up with a way of closing out the new year rapidly by doing one let go a day as we prepare, or one wrap up, or one conscious ending a day as we prepare for the new year. But I did want to start by having a conversation about this thing called a word for the year. And what I have discovered in my life for the last 15 or 20 years or so is that when I am quiet and I pay attention to my higher consciousness, to the inner presence of God within, I can start hearing or seeing themes arise. And every year at about the new year, a theme arises for me to embody something new and different about myself, something that hasn't yet been fully embodied. I'm called forth to do it. And so in the past, there have been occupational words. Like one year I got author and writer. Like what I was to embody for the year was the experience, the word, the feeling tone of being a writer. And so I wrote every day and I read books on authors. I spoke to writing friends. I joined writing groups. I mean, my year what included and was predominant in the front of my mind the experience of becoming that inner writer that was really wanting to take hold. So that's rare that I get an occupational word, but during that year I did. Usually I get a word more about a way of being in the world. I may get a word like patient, or I may get a word like compassionate. I may find that I'm being called forward to show up in a certain way. And that's true this year. This year was a little bit different in that I was in meditation, and out of absolutely nowhere, I heard the words in my mind. Your word for 2019 is move. And I thought, what? And then I got movement, and then I got action, and then my favorite word, or one of my favorite words, is omni-action, which means the all action of God. Omni-action. It means all action comes from and stems from the only thing that is, which is God. So my word is really move, but I'm embracing omni-action because in my mind I like it better. But that showed up in meditation. And so what that means to me then is I get to write about what that means. I get to be with what that means. I get to bring it into meditation. I get to have conversations about it. And already what I know is that for the last several years, I have spent most of my time in a rested kind of state where there was an incubation taking place inside of me. And so this year, that word move for me meant there's time for action. There's time for movement. And that may include a physical move. We'll have to see. But it is like a precursor to the word that I'm to fall back upon is take action, make movement. And so how a word comes about is usually there are themes that show up throughout months and weeks, and you just can't not see them. If you were to sit down right now with a pen and paper and ask yourself, what are some of the recurring events or underlying energies that have happened in the last month, you can probably start jotting down some similarities, and a word will pop through those actions. So maybe you write down, I attended a birthday party, and I was invited by a neighbor over for dinner for the holidays, and I need to get a gift because tomorrow night I'm visiting another friend. And you may think, well, that's interesting. Why did that pop in my mind? And you realize, oh my goodness, my attention is going on socializing, and I have not had a big social life. Or there's something about my social life that's wanting to shift and change. And you just sit quietly and ask yourself some questions about, well, what does this mean? And you let it come forward in dreams, and you let it come forward in thoughts, and you let it come forward in conversations with friends. So it may be that your word for the year is social, and you're being called to cultivate a more social being. Or maybe you notice this past year you have become avidly passionate about politics where you didn't care about it before. And now there's a bee in your bonnet and you really, really care. So then you sit down and you say, what does that mean? What does it mean to me that I care this much about politics right now? Does it mean I'm supposed to run for office? Oh my goodness. Where and when and what? Does it mean that I'm supposed to call together a political group or join a political group that's local and get together and have conversations I haven't had before? Or does it mean that I'm to read books and learn about history? So whatever it is in your soul that's saying, I want more of you in your being, there's clues everywhere. So start looking for them. Choose or allow the word to choose you, and allow it to, what would the word be? Kind of marinate and ruminate and hang out within you for a little while and see if it is yours. And if it's not, the next will come up and then you'll know. So I'm not having your head choose, oh, this is the word that I want for the year, although you can do it that way. I'm more interested in what your spirit wants from you. So, ask the question in your prayer and meditation, bring it into your dream sleep, journal about it, and just let it come about. The reason I'm doing this today is that there's 5 or 6 days, maybe 7 days before the new year begins. And this is a really great start to get it going. So my word is move. My word is action. My word is omni-action. And for you, what is your word this year? Whatever it is, I know it's really, really good. Have a great day.